where news comes first. This is WECT's Carolina in the Morning, streaming live on WECT.com and the WECT News app.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bill Murray.
And I'm Kim Ratcliffe. Happy to have you with us this morning. And state lawmakers want to make it easier to get help from FEMA. Governor Roy Cooper and FEMA Administrator Brock Long talked about that and much more in Brunswick County last night. Part of the issue is FEMA can't replace and rebuild everything in a neighborhood, but instead FEMA can help you fix your roof, restore internet, and set up temporary housing for folks. Long says plans are already in place to get people somewhere to call home.
And right now, we're also working very diligently to understand the best way to move forward on housing, and a lot is already in play.
Now, Long and Governor Roy Cooper are urging folks struggling for help to keep applying at the disaster centers around the region. There are more than 20 of those right here in our area.
Bottom of the 6 o'clock hour, temperatures not in the 30s as we had some mixing in at this time yesterday. That 5 to 15 degree warmer situation this morning over this time yesterday translates to a 51 for a step outside temperature of the Port City. Whiteville, you've got 48. Elizabethtown, you're working with 47 as opposed to those frostier 30s this time yesterday. Radar scan, not completely clean. A couple of light to moderate showers just dribbling into the likes of Bald Head Island this morning. Most times in places dry today, though, a low-end shower chance preserved in your forecast. We've had that for a couple of days. Also had a sentiment of clouds, some sun mixing. Highs mainly in the low 70s today. We'll shoot for upper 40s and low 50s tonight, and sunny upper 60s for tomorrow. Take the forecast out to the next 7 days coming up.
All right, Ken, and thank you. A former law enforcement officer now out of a job for stealing a political campaign sign. Jay Floyd, a former SBI agent, lost his job last summer after he admitted he lied to authorities while being investigated for the theft of a campaign sign. That sign belonged to Pender County Sheriff's candidate Joe Cena. According to Floyd's termination letter, he denied it at first, then later admitted it, saying he violated his homeowners association rules, or so he thought. Floyd pleaded guilty now to littering.
This morning, an assisted living facility is shut down after investigators say there may have been neglect. The state suspended the license for the Lake Point Assisted Living Facility in Columbus County. An investigation found evidence of neglect and failure to protect residents from potential harm that presents an imminent danger to the health and welfare of residents in the home. All of the residents have been relocated to other locations. This morning, a woman recovering after she says she was attacked with a box cutter. Investigators say Alvin Jones met the woman in a parking lot of Carolina Beach Road over the weekend, and Jones is accused of threatening to kill the victim and then cut her with the box cutter. He now faces attempted murder charges. The woman did get away but was injured after being cut on the eyebrow, lip, and shoulder. We're told Jones and the woman used to be in a relationship.
A former preschool employee is now heading to prison for over a dozen years after pleading guilty to charges from a child porn investigation. Andrew Hodge worked as a teacher's assistant at Leland Christian Academy back in 2017. Federal and county investigators found 60 images of child porn on Hodge's electronic devices. Investigators say Hodge also told them about an incident involving a child, which led to all sorts of sex crime charges, including kidnapping and indecent liberties with a child.
All right, we're at just about 6:35 right now, checking traffic conditions with Gabby Williams. Good morning, Gabby.
Hey guys, good morning. We're off to a chilly start on this Tuesday morning, but luckily the roads are looking good as of right now. But keep an eye on all the traffic cameras. It's still kind of dark outside this morning, but I do want to show you. This is a live look from Shipyard and College Road. You can see, you mostly see the parking lot there, but you can tell there's not many cars. Those bright lights that you're seeing are the street lights. I've seen several cars out this morning, but really nothing to be worried about. So if you're about to walk out the door, things are looking good so far this morning. I haven't heard any reports of accidents or anything like that. Now, I also do want to mention there are no scheduled bridge openings at this time. But if you have a chance to make sure your voice is heard about the future of transportation in North Carolina from now until Friday, November 30th, so well over a month, NCDOT has an online survey for you to complete. You're asked to answer questions. About 14 questions. I actually did this survey myself this morning. It's pretty easy. It takes less than 10 minutes. You also can leave comments on an interactive map. It focuses on the future of transportation challenges across the state and what should be a top priority. You can find a link to that survey and more information about it right now under this story on the WECT mobile news app. As I said, it's about 14 questions. They say it'll take about 10 minutes, but it took me less than that. So it's really easy if you want to get your voice heard from state transportation leaders. But that's a check of your first alert traffic. I'll give you another look in about 15 minutes, but for now, I'll send it back to you guys.
I feel like she wrote more Starbucks drive-thrus. All right, Gabby, thank you.
We're taking a look at headlines from across the Carolinas this morning. Support pouring in following the death of investigator Farrah Turner. Turner died from injuries she received back on October the 3rd during an ambush on law enforcement in Florence County, South Carolina. Raycom's Amy Kawada has details on the tragic death of yet another law enforcement officer.
This morning, Farrah Turner's body will be taken to Medical University of South Carolina for an autopsy today. Now, just yesterday marked 2 weeks since the city of Florence laid Sergeant Terrence Caraway to rest as Farrah Turner passed away here last night at McLeod Health. Investigator Turner worked for the Florence County Sheriff's Office for more than 7 years. Turner grew up in Lake City and graduated from Lake City High School. She was on the track team there, and we learned Turner had to have both her feet amputated during her recovery. What you're looking at now is video from October 3rd. This is when authorities with the Florence County Sheriff's Office went to serve a search warrant at a home. That's also when authorities say the law enforcement officers were ambushed, resulting in the death of Florence Police Sergeant Terrence Caraway and now Florence County Sheriff's investigator Farrah Turner. At this hour, we're still working to learn when funeral arrangements will be held, but this morning, hearts remain heavy as family, friends, and the city of Florence are mourning another loss of a hero in blue. For now, reporting for the Raycom News Network in Florence, I'm Amy Kawada.
A man is accused of kidnapping and raping a 12-year-old girl. Matthew Herchick details on the accusations against a Fort Bragg paratrooper.
19-year-old James Murdoch Peel, a member of the United States Army stationed at Fort Bragg, is in custody in Craven County as he faces charges of first-degree burglary and first-degree statutory rape. Officials say he kidnapped a 12-year-old girl early Sunday morning and could face even more charges.
What could have happened to this young lady is really scary, and I want people to be aware of those things. And we just live in a different world now.
Monette says the victim was taken from her grandmother's home early Sunday morning in Carolina Pines. He says her grandmother found a ransom note requesting money for her safe return. The girl was found several hours later in Fayetteville. Monette says this case involves internet chat rooms, but could not verify what social media platform was used.
There are those that are out there that would seek to take advantage of our children, and many are deviant. Their intent and purpose is not for good things.
The Craven County Sheriff's Office was assisted by the SBI, FBI, and Army in their search for the victim, who was located within approximately 7 to 8 hours.
We pulled a tremendous amount of resources in a very short period of time. And like Sheriff said, everybody hit the ground running and did a phenomenal job.
And Sheriff Monette warns guardians not to give their children too much privacy.
Because of the internet today, these are types of things that we've got to be on guard about.
The victim now back home with her grandmother. Officials say Peel could face military charges as well. Kim?
A teacher without a job this morning after he's said to have kicked and dragged a student. Surveillance video shows the 11-year-old boy dragged out of a classroom in Goose Creek, South Carolina earlier this month. His backpack was then thrown out before someone kicks him and slams the door in his face. The school district says the accused teacher does not work there anymore. Police say there will be no criminal charges. They believe the boy was kicked out because he misbehaved in class and then refused to leave. One town considering banning something we see a lot of here in Wilmington and most cities across the country: chain restaurants. The town of Folly Beach in South Carolina is considering an ordinance that would prevent any company within 10 or more locations from opening new spots in town. Supporters say it would protect the town's unique character. The mayor says local businesses want to make sure corporate brands don't take over. A final vote on the rule is scheduled for next month.
Right now, we've got all of these stories on our WECT News app. You can read more about what the governor's got to say about moving forward after Florence. You can see more about what the state has found out at an assisted living facility. And you can keep up with the latest news, weather, and traffic on the go this morning. We will be right back right after the break.
First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Andrews Mortuary and Crematory. Join the Andrews family this October as we wear pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Until there's a cure, there is hope. Know what's happening now from your neighborhood to our world. Between the newscast, watch WECT News Now live weekdays at 11 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. on WECT.com, Roku, and Amazon Fire. This is Chief Meteorologist Gannon Medwick with your First Alert weather.
6:45 in the morning. We want to get you outside right from the jump in what will ultimately be a full look at your 7-day planning forecast. This segment now is Whiteful. We'll take you outside with North Motor's First Alert Skycam from the J.L. Powell building, looking toward Vineland Station, where this time yesterday, you had a few windshields around Whiteville, dewy or frosty, just depending on the surface temperatures. I'll make it dewy this morning, if anything, as the temperature's much higher, and that rolls in, folds into your school day planning forecast. Morning bus stop temperatures, mix of 40s and 50s, as opposed to the 30s and 40s we had 24 hours ago, about 10 degrees higher. This afternoon, that translates to a little bit of a milder finish. A lot of low 70s for afternoon bus stops. Outside chance of a sprinkle or shower. Overall, a territory weather grade today. This time frame, we're going to go from 8 to 3:30. Functions like a school day. Notice a little bit of moisture banking up against the Cape Fear region. A lot of it offshore on your cloud-covered future radar, but a little bit banks in. That's akin to a 10% sprinkle or shower chance. And then the moisture trends even farther offshore as we head from 3:30 to 11. Just to wrap up this day, clear skies win, and that sets us up for a lot of sunshine tomorrow. Here's a big view, our upper level contours, trough, cold weather in the northeast today. A little ridge tries to build in, but this next trough says it digs in as we get toward Friday and Saturday, and this feature, see this well-organized upper level trough just pointed right at the southeast. This is going to get surface low pressure going and send it streaking through the Carolinas, so our next real spike in rain chances is coming with that feature, and that's going to be on or around Friday. Here's the surface reflection of that schematically, I should say, and the associated rain chances. Through Thursday, not a whole lot doing. Friday's the business end of this with breezy showers, confidence thereof 50%, and a couple of leftovers possible this weekend, but looks far from a washout. Let's line up those numbers a different way, in a traditional way. Your 7-day planning forecast unfolded on your screen. We're watching Friday, a couple leftover showers on Saturday. Kim and Bill, a theme of your 7-day planning forecast. Rain chances variable, but temperatures rather consistent, and they're on the cool side. No rogue 80-degree days in this guy. Back to you.
All right, Gannon. The Petco Foundation selected a local business to give a grant of more than $30,000. That local business, Canines for Service, a program that gives service dogs to disabled veterans.
Running this kind of program isn't cheap. It costs money, right? Which is why the folks at Canines for Service so honored to receive this grant. Carolina in the Morning's Justin Ferencz joining us now in the studio. Let's talk about what this grant is doing for the program. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, the staff at Canines for Service are so excited to be a recipient of this grant. With the money, they will be able to care for their dogs by taking care of their health needs, feeding them, and training them, which will ultimately help our veterans get a service dog. And it is an expensive operation. Pairing the dog with the veteran in need costs up to $54,000. Also, the training process is a pretty lengthy one to get to that point as well. They train pretty much 5 days a week for a total of 9 to 12 months. The dogs even go to the homes of their trainers because they need to know that the dog can work their skills both in the facility, in the home environment, and out in public. And what's so great about this program is that they don't even charge for the service dogs. I spoke with Pat Harrison, who is the program manager of the Canines for Service program. She said it won't be like it was before the veterans got their injuries, but hopefully with a skilled service guide by their side, they can start to engage in the community and come back to living a more normal life.
You know, our veterans are giving everything for their country, and they're coming back with injuries that they're having to live with for many, many years, since some of them are so very young. And so we feel that one of our responsibilities is to help them live a more normal life.
And where do they get these dogs? Well, Canine for Service rescues these dogs who are between the ages of 1 to 2 years old from shelters. And I spoke with another employee off camera who says she loves to be a part of this operation because the program saves the dogs from the shelters and the dogs save their owners as well. Now, if you want to become a volunteer or to find out where to apply to get a service dog, visit our website, WECT.com. Bill and Kim, back to you.
Jesslyn, do you know if they look for certain breeds, or it's really just kind of any shelter dog?
Yeah, so I actually asked them about that because it seemed to be there was a lot of labs there, but they said it really doesn't matter on the specific breed. They just have to pass a couple tests. They have to have a weight test, and they also have to make sure that their health is in order, and they actually get their hips checked too by a radiograph just to make sure that the dog can actually take care of their new owner.
Yeah.
And they've got an amazing training facility set up with everything that they would sort of be, you know, need to be trained on.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible what these dogs can do. It's so awesome.
You'd be an awesome dog trainer.
I wanted to do that program before if I could find the time. I think it's I think it's great.
I'm living proof of that. Bill, no. Bill, sit.
Stay.
We're back in a moment.
First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Andrews Mortuary and Crematory. Join the Andrews family this October as we wear pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Until there's a cure, there is hope.
Before you head out the door this morning, let's take a live look. I'm going to change gears here. We're going to take a look at the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge. There we go. Oh wait, nope, that's the... There we go, Cape Fear Memorial Bridge. Things are looking pretty good this morning. We got a lot of people heading out this morning, headed towards Brunswick County. This is a view from New Hanover County. But as of 15 minutes ago, the same right now, things are looking good. I actually did check commute times. I don't have them pulled up right now, but I do want to let you know the commute times are looking good. Standard times for this time in the morning, but you know, things will pick up. We will see a little bit more congestion here in about 30 minutes to an hour. So just keep that in mind if you leave within the next hour or so. But I also do want to mention there are no scheduled bridge openings at this time. Kim?
All right, Gabby, thank you. Taking a look at your top stories this morning. The last group of students in our area getting back into the classroom today after 6 weeks out of school thanks to Hurricane Florence. There are a total of 18 schools in Pender County damaged. Damage estimates $12 million, but they are expected to get some money from the state's lottery fund to help out with that. We're exactly 2 weeks away from Election Day, and because of Hurricane Florence, there are a few polling places that were damaged and are actually moved. The New Hanover County has more polling places listed on its website as well. You can find all of that in a link on our news app right now. In less than an hour, candidates for Congress, New Hanover County Commission, and State Senate will take part in a power breakfast at the Wilmington Convention Center. A chance to hear from some of the candidates that want your vote. A political discussion starts at 8. We'll have a crew there to live stream the event. Bill will also head over there in just a few minutes to give us a preview during WECT News at 7 on Fox Wilmington. But before he heads out the door, he's got to check out the National's top headlines this morning. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, good morning. A sad story out of South Carolina. Investigator Farrah Turner died after being wounded in a shooting that took place in Florence County last month. She's the second officer to die related to that shooting. The shootout left 6 officers and deputies injured, killing 2 while attempting to serve a search warrant at a home. There is still 1 other officer in critical condition and 2 other officers released from the hospital over the weekend. Funeral arrangements for Officer Turner will be announced now at a later date.
Getting a last look at your First Alert forecast right now. We'll do that by going to Wrightsville Beach with your New Earth Motors First Alert Skycam. The Holiday Inn looking north along the beach strand and offshore, getting set for the sunrise hour. Sunrise specifically 7:23. How about these temps right from the get-go this morning? A little warmer than yesterday. Now, could you select a sweatshirt or jacket for 47 in Elizabethtown? Sure, even 52 in Wilmington. It's just that yesterday we had numbers on average about 10 degrees lower than this. So it's a jumping off place for some low 70s this afternoon. We finish the week cooler with our next best rain chances on Friday. A stray shower can't be ruled out today, though.
All right, we're heading over to our sister station, Fox Wilmington now.